Trout Unlimited is the nation's leading conservation organization for the care, protection, and restoration of cold water rivers and streams, as well as the trout and salmon populations that reside in them. The organization was founded in 1959 in Grayling, Michigan. Vanguard Chapter was formed in 1982. It's one of 19 local chapters within the state of Michigan. We're based here in Rochester Hills. Since 2016, we really adopted Paint Creek as our home waters.
To do this work, our chapter has become partners with the DNR, with the local community governments who know what we're doing and why we're doing it, the Paint Creek Trail Commission, and even the local landowners who have to give their support for us to do this work because the creek touches their property. We have begun integrating all of this and creating some education, some communication of the end results of these projects that benefit all the people in that community.
We manage Paint Creek as a trout stream because it's able to support them year-round with cold water temperatures. If the waters get too warm, the trout can't survive, and that's what happens in a lot of our streams. And historically, we've tried to put trout in lots of places, but this is one of the few places we can consistently get them to survive. Oddly enough, this is one of the only places in southeast Michigan where we have natural reproduction of trout.
There's another local stream where the DNR had sampled that stream for many years. And if you look at the history, it had a natural brook trout population. And over time, you could see in their sampling, the trout population got fewer and fewer trout till now it's zero, and it's not a viable creek for brook trout. Those things happen when you don't maintain the creek with urban development. We don't want that to happen to Paint Creek, and so that's why we took on these projects.
So the work that we're doing today, we are installing logs into the stream. Paint Creek doesn't have many logs. They typically wash out really quickly because the stream is so flashy. It rises rapidly after a rainstorm and washes the wood out. So today we're cutting logs from the areas adjacent to the stream, and we've got a crew that'll come by and drill holes through those logs, and then we're putting in a 4-foot steel rod, and that's actually pounded into the stream bed. So these logs become a permanent fixture in Paint Creek. We came up with a plan to start working on Paint Creek in sections, and we've been at this for about 5 years.
It's actually required by our Eagle permit for 2 years after installation. We have to go back and make sure all the structures are in place. But even generally speaking, we as a chapter walk the structures every year and make sure they're in place and make sure everything is working as it should.
So today we're here to look at how the river shape has changed since we've installed some wood habitat into the stream. So before we put that wood in, we did some surveys. They're called Geomorphic surveys, and it's looking at the shape of the river channel. So we take points across the stream elevations using a laser level like you would use in construction or road surveys to see how the stream changes. What we're doing is here in this area, the stream's pretty wide and shallow, and we're trying to use our log structures to direct flow to the middle so that we can create a deeper channel with less erosive forces at the edges and more flow down the middle to create colder, better habitat.
The vision of Trout Unlimited is to bring people within a community together to care for the watersheds in their community, to ensure healthy waterways and thriving fish populations so that future generations can enjoy the resources.
I think the work we're doing and the level of quality of the work that we're doing is a legacy project. You've got a history of data now of what's going on in the creek. The structures we're putting in, we put all the best material and the best equipment to make sure they stay a long, long time. So I would say we all have this vision of creating a legacy here in Rochester Hills and the other local communities that Paint Creek flows through. that can sustain this resource for many years to come.
Paint Creek is a gem. If you don't care for these resources, they can be lost.